Now we're starting a subject called difficult conversations. Now, there are many different types of difficult conversations, and I wish I could help you with all of them, but I can't. I can't help you with the difficult conversations you might have with your spouse or your kids or even with your boss. The ones I can help you with is difficult conversations when you are the boss and you're talking to your subordinates. Then this methodology that I'm going to teach you will be very useful. Well, different situations, different topics are difficult to different persons. Some people think it's easy, some people think it's difficult. It might be difficult to fire someone. Well, it's not really difficult. It can be done, and it always ends up with someone leaving the company. But it's hurtful, but it's not really difficult. What is really difficult is to have a conversation, a difficult conversation with someone who is supposed to remain in the company and stay motivated and perform well. Very often it is about addressing low performance, telling someone that they are not performing up to standard, or that you as a leader is disappointed with how they deliver. That's a very tough message, and especially if it comes as a big surprise to your subordinates. That is when it turns really difficult. And sometimes when they are surprised, they will tell you that you are wrong, that they are right, that you just have misunderstood the situation, and that their performance is much better than you think. Have you experienced that? Being in a conversation with subordinates who seems to be in a totally different world? Well, that is what we call a difficult conversation, and that situation is exactly what we are going to deal with in this program. Very often, it turns into a difficult conversation because you didn't give them feedback when the situation occurred. You tend to wait, hope maybe that it would pass, and it won't. It only gets worse. So it's much better to do it right away. And why do we avoid having those corrective feedback situations? I think it is partly because we want to be loved. We want everybody, or at least a lot of us, wants everybody to love us. And we think that when we disappoint someone with corrective feedback, that they will start to hate us, at least not keep on loving us. And that's the reason, I think, why quite a few of us postpone the situation when we give corrective feedback. What we should do, of course, is instead of postponing it, giving feedback according to or following the methodology of the experience cube. You remember that from one of the previous sessions, describing the objective situation, your thoughts about it, your feelings, and your will to have a change, to make the other person understand the feedback. And when you do that right away, it's not a big thing. It's just a corrective feedback related to a situation that you give to a person to help him develop. But if you have neglected that for a long time and suddenly you decide, now I will tell that person, he or she will be surprised. And then, as a natural mechanism, I'll tell you later, they will start out denying the whole thing and saying that it is not right. You are wrong. And then we have started a difficult conversation, which turned this difficult exactly because you were afraid to be disliked and postponed the situation of giving feedback when that situation occurred. And the sooner you give that feedback, the better. And even if it has escalated like this then, and you think that it is time I give that feedback, and you maybe suspect it will end up as a difficult conversation, then don't postpone it anymore. Even though it turns into a difficult conversation, just do it. And if it turns into a difficult conversation, I will teach you how you can deal with it. That will be in the next session.